All right, so here we go. I'm going to make a helicopter. So I'm here in my rendering environment. I got nothing in here, right? Feel free to chime in whenever you want. I don't care. This will just be a really dumb YouTube video where people are like, what the hell is going on, right? Okay, so I'm going to... Oh, yeah, I should probably say what I'm doing. So Shift-A brings up a little menu. I'm going to click Mesh, Cylinder. I'm going to put a cylinder in the middle of the screen. It's not actually in the middle of the origin. I don't like that. I want it to be exactly in the middle of the origin. So I'm going to click this cube over here, and it's going to tell me my location in the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. It's also going to tell me the rotation about the x, y, and z. So I'm just going to make the rotation 0, 0, 0, and then the location 0, 0, 0. And so now when I pan around, it's exactly in the center of the screen like I want it to be. I've got a numpad on my screen, and so I can hit 1, 3, 7, I think, and then that's it, or 9, and I can see the front view, the side view, the top view, and the bottom view. If you don't have a numpad on your screen, on the lower left-hand screen, you have to hit View, and you can change the view to whatever you want. I'm going to go back to the front view. I'm going to hit 5 on the numpad toggles the view perspective icon. I'm going to hit Tab to go into edit mode. On this bottom button down here, when you're in edit mode, you can either select vertices, edges, or faces. I want to select vertices. I'm going to hit Z to go into wireframe mode. I'm going to hit Control. My computer's being stupid. How about now? Control R. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Crap. Control R is how to enable and pause recording on this video here.
So you've just paused.
So I've just been pausing. I've just been pausing and all this shit for like 20. So I'm gonna change it to Shift R, I guess, and see if now if I go back and hit Control. There we go. That's annoying. So I just paused and unpaused the video like 15 times.
You made it Shift S though.
I made it what? Whatever. Shift S is now. I don't care. All right. So Control R brings us up. So if I scroll the middle mouse wheel, I make these 4 things. I'm going to hit Enter. Then I can actually move those things around. When in doubt, just hit Escape. And so now I've got all these vertices in here. I'm going to go back to the front view, and I'm going to deselect all the vertices. I want to make this sort of bulbous looking, so I'm going to scale down this middle guy. I'm going to scale down this guy. Maybe... I think somebody told me that you can actually grab multiple. So I think I can do box select like this. Hit B and hold Shift again. No, that didn't work. There we go. Okay, so in edit mode, you can just select multiple vertices at once, and then that way I can scale them down at the same time. And so now I've got this little bulbous looking thing, which looks okay. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. All right, and then I'm going to box select the top. I'm going to hit E and extrude this guy. I think this is the helicopter rotor boom, and it's probably too big in my opinion. So I'm gonna scale it down and get. Ooh, that's no good. So I don't want to scale it about all axes. So I'm gonna do about the x-axis. But then unfortunately, if you look at it from the side now, it's like this weird like oblong shape, right? So what do? I'm gonna hit Control Z to go back. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to hit Scale X, and then I'm gonna type in 0.2. No. How about Scale X 0.5? And then that way when I go to the side and I do Scale Y, I can type in 0.5 again. And so now it's the exact same size. Question.
What do you do about the x-axis?
So if you hit S and you scale it, you just hit X, Y, or Z, and it'll scale it about that axis. It'll restrict it to that axis. Okay, so if I go back, I hit Tab to get back to object mode, there's my really bad looking fuselage, okay? So now I'm going to make a circle, and I can move this guy around. I'm going to go into edit mode. That's immediately going to select all the vertices. I'm going to hit F to make a face. That's what F stands for. I'm going to hit Tab to go back to object mode. I'm going to go into top view, and I'm going to line this guy up just by changing the X and Y coordinates over here on this toolbar over here. I'm going to go to front view, and I'm going to move it up so it looks like it's kind of at the top there. And then I'm going to scale this guy up so it looks like it's a bunch of rotors. Like that. So then there's my tailbone. Then I'm going to right-click this guy, right-click the fuselage while holding Shift, and I'm going to hit Join. And now if you notice over here on the screen, I have a lamp, I have a camera, and I have a circle. And I can rename that. I'm going to call it helicopter, by the way, just for kicks. So now when I move, everything moves together, right? So I'm going to move that guy back down. So now I got to make a tail boom, right? So I'm going to mesh a cylinder. I'm going to type in R, and that's going to rotate it about a bunch of axes, and I don't really know what it is, but I'm going to restrict it to the y-axis and type in 90, and so it just immediately goes to 90 degrees. I'm going to scale it down to the size I want, and then I'm going to scale with S and then type in X and scale about the x-axis, make a tail boom like that, which looks okay. I'm going to hit the side view here, and then I'm going to line it up where I think it needs to be. I think the y-axis just needs to be 0. Put it like there-ish. Looks like it's like stabbing the thing, so I'm going to pull it out. Say like right there. It seems kind of big still, so I'm going to do scale X, how about scale Y, 0.8, and then scale Z, 0.8, make it a little bit smaller. And so that looks good. So now I'm going to join the two. So I'm going to, again, right-click the tail boom, hold Shift, right-click the fuselage, hit, no, there's no hotkey. I'm going to hit join. So now I have one object, so now everything moves all together. And then this is kind of a fancy thing, so if you notice there's a gap here, I don't really like that. So I'm going to go into edit mode, and if you notice the entire object goes into edit mode. So if you hit A, you actually like are selecting all of the vertices. So I'm gonna hit Z to go into wireframe mode, and I'm gonna start selecting faces. I'm actually gonna come out and go back to solid mode. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select these faces here that are like kind of close to this tail boom here, and I'm just going to delete those faces. So I'm going to hit the delete key and then type in faces, and so now there's a hollow thing there. Then I'm going to go down here and start selecting edges, and I'm going to select this edge, this edge, this edge, and then, oh gosh, this is going to take forever. I'm going to select all of these edges here. Man, whose idea was this? That looks good. And I'm going to hit F, and that's going to connect all of those edges together. So then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select this edge, hold Shift, select all of these edges in this quadrant. Maybe that guy. And then these guys here, here, and here, and hit F again. And then I'm going to do this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I'm going to go all the way down to that quadrant. Select these guys, hit F again, and then I'm just missing this quadrant down here now. Oh. Okay, cool. So now it doesn't look that great, but at least the pieces are kind of solidly connected together. Okay, so then the last thing is just I'm going to make another mesh circle. I'm going to rotate this about the x-axis 90 degrees. I'm going to go into edit mode, hit F to make it solid, and then I'm going to go into the side view mode and make this guy the tail rotor. Move this guy to like here-ish. Somebody asked like, how do I make it so that they're connected? Like, how would you go about doing that? In my opinion, I think the easiest thing to do would just be to make a cylinder and shrink it down, rotate it by 90 degrees, and then just put it right there. So they're not actually connected really, like they kind of could be. But yeah, so then we can right-click this guy, right-click this guy, right-click this guy, and click join. And so now, it actually renamed everything, so I'm going to make this a helicopter now. And so there's my helicopter. I'm going to hit the 0 key to get into camera mode. And then I'm going to hit the N key, this toggles this toolbar. And I'm going to lock the camera to view, and I'm going to zoom out. And so now when I click this button and click render, there's my helicopter rendered. It's not great, but it looks, I mean, it's good enough. There's a couple issues here. One is that this thing is like casting shade. I don't like that. So I'm going to go back to object mode and object mode, solid mode. And so what you have to do is you have to assign materials to this thing now. So I'm going to go over to the material properties, and I'm going to make a new material. I'm going to call this a fuselage. And then I'm going to make it, I don't know, what color do you want to make this thing? Green. Okay. You always want to do magenta, Gash. Oh, I said your name. Shit. I'll edit that out. So I'm going to make a new material, and I'm going to call this rotor. And so the rotor there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm going to go into wireframe mode. I'm going to select vertices. I'm going to deselect everything, and then I'm going to box select the tail rotor, or the main rotor. So now I have the main rotor selected, and then I'm going to select the tail rotor here. This is going to be tough. How do I get that? Maybe I can just do it by hand. That's not that many vertices. I'm just going to grab all of them. Oh, no. Oh, seriously? How about this? Yes, this will work. So I'm going to box select all that. Boom. Okay, so I got the tail rotor. And then I'm going to box select this guy, this guy, this guy. How do I get those? Like that. Okay, so now I got the main rotor and the tail rotor, and I'm with the second material selected. I'm going to click assign, and so just to make sure this worked, there we go, cool. So now I can actually independently change the color of the rotor. So I'm just going to keep them gray, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down here to, I think it's transparency, and I'm going to take this alpha layer and I'm going to shrink that down. And so now when I render it, you should be able to see through it, which you can. You can't. It is translucent, but I think there's something else you have to do to allow. Is it shadeless? Yeah, shadeless is what I want. So now it won't cast any shade. Oh, come on. One of these things is gonna do it. I'm telling you. The spectacular? The specular. Do you think the lamp's just in the wrong spot? What does the tutorial say? How do you make this thing go through? Subsurface scattering. I swear there's a button that says, like, I thought it was shadeless. Shading.
That intensity right there.
The ambient?
No, go up a little right. Right.
This specular?
Yeah.
Make that. What do you make this?
0.
No, that didn't work. Should we pause the video and then figure it out? I don't think so. All right, I'm gonna pause the video. Come back. I'm gonna throw a shout out to my own website here. So if you go to aerialsystems.org, and then you click, there's all of us doing things, and you click Blender, and then you click Beginner's Guide to Animations, and this is the tutorial, so you can follow along. And oh no! So if you scroll down, this is where I found it. Traceable. Object will not cast any shadows. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click traceable, and then I'm going to render it again. Boom! Now the light goes through. That's what I'm talking about. So maybe you like this view, maybe you don't. You can easily change that. Lock camera to view. You can pan it around, so now it's like right here. Click the render button. There's my cool guy. I'm gonna hit. Maybe I want to make a background here. Maybe make like a paper sky. It's like maybe a nice. I wonder if this is gonna work. Yeah, that's beautiful. Maybe that's just what I want. So then I'm gonna click image, save as image. I'm gonna save this to the desktop. I'm gonna say. My helicopter for YouTube's .png. I'm going to hit save. And then if I double click that guy, there's my image in its full glory, and then you can upload this to USA Online. Cool? Okay. Hopefully that was better.